This is Arthur Aday with Arthur Talks, and today we have a very special event. We're going to have a panel of healers in the area that are very powerful and very important people here in our mountain community. I have a host, Moonflower. She's going to present the Mystical Mountain Magic hosted by Moonflower. So I'll let her talk to you next.
Hello, I want to welcome you to Mystic Mountain Magic. This is going to be an hour full of mystical, magical experiences. I have 9 people that are going to be coming on, and 9 different modalities of healing arts. And each person who comes on is going to explain their healing modalities and give you some information on what they do. And I also want to tell everybody that this program is going to be for mystical experiences. If anybody wants to come on the show, they can log into the website we have and ask if they want to be on the show. They could come and be on the show. And I also would like to target the youth that have mystical, magical powers, because there's a lot of youth here in this area, like the indigos and the crystals and the rainbows, that need to come out and be able to share experiences. And so this is what this program is all about. So I'm really, really happy to be here, and thank you, Arthur, for giving me this opportunity.
Yes, it's very important that the community get involved.
Yes, it is. And Arthur's been asking me forever to do this. And so finally, the celestial lights have come on. So thank you, Arthur. Yep. And so we needed to get going because we have 9 people.
All
and
right.
I'm also going to do a demonstration on my table here. I'm a massage therapist, and I also do energy work, and we do have a person in the audience that's going to be lucky enough to get up on the table and have energy work done today. And I also, while I'm doing this energy work, I also want to show other people that they can do simple little energy works and they can build up to it. Everybody has the ability to do this, I believe. And I always just want to share and teach people. This is what the program's about, sharing and caring. And oh my God, did everybody see the mountain today? The lenticular on the mountain is so beautiful. Mother Earth just totally outdid herself today on the mountain.
All right,
you, Arthur.
Are we ready?
Yes,
All
we
right,
are.
call on the first 2 people.
My first guest today is Amora Kuan Yin. And Sandra Musser. See. Amora Kuan Yin sitting. Oh, she has to hook up her microphone. Okay. Amora Kuan Yin, how are you doing today? And thank you for being on the show.
I'm doing great, thank you.
And thank you, Sandy, for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
I would like to ask you, Amora,
Yes.
how did you come to Mount Shasta?
Gosh, it was back in 1985, and I was on my way to Oregon with a friend, and we stopped to camp up at Panther Meadow. And I went out to meditate by a creek before I went to sleep. And when I got there, this head that was about this big came and very lovingly told me the source of every problem in my life and what I could do to heal them. And it was the most powerful meditation I'd ever had at that point. So I went back to the car and I told my friend what had happened. And he says, yeah, the mountain's known for things like that. And I says, what do you mean? It's just a mountain. I didn't know anything about sacred mountains at the time. And he said, I don't know, it's supposed to be some kind of special vortex or something. And people have special experiences here. And I says, well, I'm going to be coming back here on pilgrimages. And then I moved here in 1988, 3 years later.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even know at the time that it was Saint Germain who was talking to me. And I didn't even find out until 5 years later.
Wow.
Oh, what a wonderful experience. The mountain just draws people to her. I mean, I just love this mountain. I was drawn to the mountain the same way.
Yeah.
So are you doing any, what is your spiritual work here?
Well, I'm the founder of the Dolphin Star Temple Mystery School, which is a spiritual system. And I'm one of those people who was sort of born with certain awareness and abilities. Like when I was a child, I saw fairies, and when my mother would come to pray at bedtime, I'd see Jesus there. And so as I got older in life, I ended up having a spiritual awakening in 1979. And in 1988, I was in a workshop in Laguna Beach. And a group of beings came to me who called themselves the Pleiadian Emissaries of Light. And they basically took me to this space station at the time and told me that they wanted to renew my connection with them on a deep level. And it was such a loving experience. At that point, I wasn't someone who would open to beings outside my body at all because I'd had some dark invasion energy from ETs. But these beings were so loving, I didn't even ever question it. And from that day on, they worked with me, and they brought through teachings about the Ka, and the Ka is an ancient Egyptian word which means the divine double of the physical body that awakens when you start to become Christ conscious. And I didn't even know what it meant when they told me I was going to receive the Ka teachings. But basically, I brought through teachings on how to open the Ka body and help people awaken more quickly. And now I teach 7 trainings every year. And the trainings are really variable. But they teach about things like, we start out with basics like aura and chakras and past lives and healing on a lot of different levels. I teach people how to become healers, but also teaching spiritual advancement at the same time. And we end up moving into a lot of things on the subconscious, the unconscious, and I teach a training called regression facilitation where people actually have a chance toward the end of that program to go back and experience their origins of consciousness and their original connection to divine source. And the teachings just go really deep. We teach people how to work on healing issues that are stuck on every cell of our body or every cell of organs and glands. And basically, we learn to do reading and healing work using the clairvoyance, the intuition, the clairaudience, and the clairsentience. And it's really about becoming Christ awakened, because in my system, we're taught that the beings who are really moving forward right now are moving toward Christ consciousness, and that when the second coming of Christ happens on the earth, it will be en masse. And when 144,000 people have Christ awakened, there will be an energy that goes through the whole of the world, and every person on the earth at that point will have a reference point in higher consciousness so that they can make a choice on what they want to do next. So basically, it's a very deep and involved spiritual system that takes people from wherever they are all the way to the point where they have all the tools they need to become Christ awakened and in their mastery. And it's not a system for everyone, but when people feel really drawn, it's very strong and very powerful for them.
You know what? All the things you were talking about is like when I was a child. All this, I had so much coming through when I was a child, seeing spirits, seeing auras, hearing things, and having messages given to me. And I had an experience with Jesus myself when I was a child. And he showed me my hands when I was a little girl, and he showed me his hands, and I looked at my hands. And I think I was I was going to this one church one day, and this guy said, in the church said, well, did Jesus have holes in his hands? Well, Jesus would not come to a child with holes in his hands. That's not what he was showing me. He was showing me that I have a healing in my hands. And I always feel like I'm a divine instrument of the healing. I just open my crown chakra and I ask it to be used as a divine instrument. And so wherever that energy comes out, or even if it's just helping somebody open a car door with bags in their hands, I'm always a divine instrument. And for me, it's like remembering. I just remembered.
Yes.
You know,
the
it's
same for me.
remembering everybody, get everybody remembered. And I always separate, like I could put R-E and then I put a dash in membered. We remember ourselves, we reconnect ourselves, we reopen the channels, you know, because we're so closed down through, you know, the churches and through the media, you know, and everything. So being able to open up and learn that there is something other than just black and white.
I'd like to
Yes.
say something here. I picked up one of your books on the Pleiadians, and from that point, I wanted to be here. It was really an experience just to read that book, and it was divine. It really was.
And you have a website for everybody
Yes.
to the website?
www.amoraquanyin.com. And I just want to say also that I've had those natural healing abilities from early in my life. And I tried to shut it down for a while, but it came back on fully, very strongly in my late 20s. And to do those things, for me, is also like remembering.
Yeah.
And I work with a lot of beings besides the Pleiadian emissaries of light. I work with the Syrian emissaries of light, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Elohim, and I have 4 books out. But to me, it's just about being here for divine purpose.
That's right. And thank you for being here for the divine purpose. This is what this
Yes.
program's about, just getting it out there so people could start growing and start knowing that there's different modalities. You know, one modality might not suit you. You can go to a different modality of healing, or there's all kinds of wonderful experiences that people can experience out there, and that's what the show's about. And Sandra, it's your turn. The healing power of forgiveness. So, the question today is, we find is, how is forgiveness a form of healing?
Well, forgiveness actually is the ultimate form of healing because it's the only way to purposely clear any negativity from our bodies, and it's our bodies that end up suffering. Because it's our souls that hold the record of all of the negativity that we have in our bodies. And so the only way to truly clear that is through the power of forgiveness. And at some point in time, we get to the point where we realize that we don't want to listen to the tapes anymore, the negative tapes that are within us. And we get to that point and we decide that we are going to take control of our lives again and not be victims. And we make the decision to release it. And the only way to truly release it is to forgive it. And when we forgive it, we are not just forgiving the other person, we are forgiving ourselves, which is the most important person for us to forgive.
Can you have workshops on this?
No, I don't have workshops, but I do have a website, and on my website, it's www.2012 Spiritual Growth Prophecies. Not that one. www.2012-spiritual-growth-prophecies.com. There is an article on there about the healing power of forgiveness, and there's also a number of other articles in regards to that as well. And it's becoming even more important now with the onslaught of 2012, because 2012 is all about love, brotherhood, unity, and integrity. So basically, in order for us to have an easier transition, we need to get into that mode and away from money, power, and control, which is the present mode that we're in right now. And forgiveness is a very powerful tool in order to be able to do that.
Yeah, I've done a lot of, you know, I have a background of a lot of things happened to me when I was a child. And, you know, it's funny that you don't think forgiving yourself for, even when I was a little kid and hating somebody. And, you know, it took me a long time. I was around a whole family that hated. I hate this, I hate that. And so when I got older, one of the words that I eliminated out of my vocabulary is hate. I'll say, I don't like this. Or if I do say, oh gosh, I hate that, then I'll stop myself and say, no, I don't, I just dislike it. Because hate is such a vicious word.
Hate is a very, very harsh word. I personally, the reason that I have become so attuned to forgiveness is when I was 4 years old, I found out, not when I was 4, but when I was in my 30s, that I had been a sexually abused child. And a lot of people don't realize that they have been, but one of the key ways of knowing is that you have huge memory blocks in your childhood. Because what you've done is you've gone out of your body, you have left the situation, you've divested yourself from it. And in my 30s, my late 30s, I actually went through a period of forgiveness towards my grandfather. And what happens, it's truly amazing what happens. It's like you have all this stuff stuck in your heart area. And when you release it, now this has to be true forgiveness. This is key. You can't say, oh, I forgive you. That doesn't work. It has to be pure, unconditional forgiveness, where you no longer think of that person in that mode. You now look at them and see the love that was there, because there's always both. It's never always just one direction. And so basically what happens is you actually get rid of something within your heart, that negativity, and an open space is left there, and the universe hates a vacuum. And so what usually comes in, and what always comes in when you do forgiveness, is good comes in. And I experienced a joy that is beyond this earth that I have never experienced before. And that is why I am so powerfully attuned to forgiveness. Because once you do forgive something, it's gone. It's not like you have to keep going back and having something done because it keeps coming back. The reason it keeps coming back is because you haven't dealt with it. And the only way to truly deal with it is to let it go and forgive it. And that means, obviously at 4 years old, I can't say that I caused myself to be abused. It could be a past life thing that I was paying for in this lifetime. That's possible. And so you have to just get to the point where you take control of your life. And when you take control, you have power. You didn't have power then. Now you have power. And the power you take is the power to let it go, so that you are no longer affected by that particular incident.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And I had the same experience, and I started going out of body at that. And I remember going out of body and watching everything being done to me. And thank you for bringing this experience on the show and sharing with people. And
Thank you for having
people
me.
know how to get on your website. And thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, ladies. And our next guest will be Crystal Lynn. So they're on their way. We have Crystal Lynn with angelsconversations.com. Shasta Dream Center, highest vibration workshops. Healing with Crystals, author of Hidden Potential, work with Angels Rehabilitation Program for Meth. And what do they do over there?
It's a handful, huh?
It's a handful, and I guess they're trying to do the microphone. And here comes Valerie. Come on down. Come on down. Well, hello there.
Hi.
They're trying to get that on, so we could have a talk here. Would you like to tell everybody about it? And I'm wearing one of her beautiful necklaces, I'll tell you. I don't know if you can see this necklace on top of mine. I can feel the energy as soon as you put on it.
Good.
Thank you very much. It feels really good and wonderful.
They're really hard workers. And in doing energy work and working with crystals and stones, it has to do with what we do. I get pictures, and I get pictures of the owners at times. And so I have this little basket that I take with me, and sometimes it ends up at different coffee shops, or it has different situations show up, and I get pictures, and I just put them on people, and they belong to them. In crystal healing and energies, the stones actually speak with me, and I actually do quite a bit of energy healing through just the angels, working with the angels. As I work with them, I get pictures, and when I put them together. Then this I brought for you guys because a picture is worth a million words. And it was a very interesting thing. I don't know if you guys can zoom in on this. Is that possible to zoom in on it? Is that the way?
Can you see that?
Okay, so you can see.
Oh, my.
Okay, there was a lady that was brought to me. She had a broken hip.
Yes.
And the little story behind it was I was at an expo, a healing holistic expo, and I was setting up my stones, getting ready to do the readings, and this lady was so loud next to me, and she was talking about her sciatic. And as she spoke about her sciatic nerve, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear you guys with what's going on. This lady's so loud, I can't hear anything. So they said, why don't you go and work on her? So I went and worked on her. And as I worked on her, brought her into my booth, and then I didn't realize she was complaining about her sciatic nerve. And she's going, oh my God, I'm in so much pain. So I bring her into my booth. I work on her for a few minutes. And what I didn't expect, I just wanted someone to quiet down a little bit so I could hear the angels. And all I heard was, oh my God, I have no more pain. It was great.
Yes.
And so the rest of the day I was extremely busy with all the other healers and people that were looking for information. So it was a really cool experience. And
it's so wonderful because you're not taking a pill or a pharmaceutical. You're not being run by the government.
Nope,
Pharmaceuticals.
you're not.
Oh, I just love it.
Yeah, and the finding your highest vibration, what you read before I came on or as I was
Yes.
coming on, that has to do with everybody. That is, it's free. It is strictly a love donation if they feel motivated to do that. It is to help people bring up their vibration because as we help each other, everyone benefits.
Yes.
And it creates a revolution of giving. And the whole purpose of it is so that everyone can get out of their little rut or whatever it is that seems to be holding them back. If they're growing, a boost up, whatever it is. And so far, we have had 2 of them. What is happening for everyone that's joining us is amazing. People are getting jobs, to healing opportunities showing up, to someone getting, they got $1,000 just that night. It was just, and there's all these different testimonials coming forward, so it's really cool. It's on our website. You can get the information for it. And as far as my necklace? You want me to talk about the necklace?
Okay.
It's beautiful.
Well, they're all designed to actually help and increase everyone's gifts.
Yeah,
and
that is
to do the
so
clearing.
beautiful.
Yeah.
This one feels really good on. I could feel it.
Yeah, and it was cool because when Arthur came up, I knew there was something going on with him, and I was like, and then I saw the picture of the necklace, and I grabbed the necklace out of my basket, and I put it on him,
Yeah.
and he did this whole thing
So
going
did
on,
I. I
and
was
he's
going,
like, whoa, and explained to him how it works, and he came back several times that day. It was really great.
Oh, yeah.
So
I
it was a
could
good
feel-
thing.
Just anything to raise that vibration and just keep you from the lower vibration and bring it up
You know,
from the mother
yep.
and just.
Because everyone benefits.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you create that revolution of giving, and we are free to do
Yes.
that. So,
Yes, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
And Valerie, I'm sorry, I didn't get you. This is Valerie
all right.
Speaks from Shasta Dream Center, Intuitive, Shasta Dream Massage, Deep Tissue, Sports Massage, Trigger Points, Acupressure, Physical, Emotional Stress, Aqua Chi, Detox Foot Bath. Whoa, I got all that out. didn't I?
I know you got it. Yeah, I do intuitive massage, and I basically work on a lot of injuries. That's what I do, and I have the ability to heal the hands. You know, they heal, and I'm able to see inside the body and look. Show it. The body shows me where to work and how to work on it, and you just channel the energy, the Christ energy, and you just open up yourself to healing. So I do a lot of healing work. It's just a lot. So I work on injuries, and running energy. So, and then the Aqua Chi foot bath, that's a detox. That's a very, very important thing we need. being here with all the chemtrails that are
man.
around.
I've had a few of those. It feels so good.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's amazing. There's been a very, very, very great response with the detoxing. So
Wow, they have a lot of stuff going at the Shasta Dream Center. I'm going to have to come over there.
You have to come check
Yes,
us out.
I
It's
will.
so
I
much
have
fun.
to.
So,
You know, when I've always been able to be able to see in the body when I'm working with my hands, because I'll say it's just like I can just see all this stuff going on, you know, and then I'm working and it's just like, and I've always been able to do that, you know, and it's interesting to hear somebody else do that. See?
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing what we can do. And you're going to show how you can do that on the
Yes,
body.
I
and
am. I'm
really
going to do a demonstration here on the table here in a few minutes with Irving. Irwin, okay. Irwin Engel is going to be on to get to be up on the table here. Wow, is there anything else you need to talk about or want to share?
I'm so shy.
You're so
and
shy.
she's here. She's doing us a
Look at the
good.
talk about your necklace. Look at the
Oh
beautiful
my
necklace
gosh.
she has on.
Yes, that's beautiful. The energy of this, it's, I don't know what it does, but it feels good. I think it's, what is this? Anyways,
Amethyst.
is this the amethyst one?
Amethyst.
I don't know. You
Amethyst is all about self-healing and getting you to relax in front of cameras and things like that.
Oh, we all need that.
It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
So we put together a gift package.
Yes.
This gift package is geared toward healing cancer for people
All right.
that are going through things like that. We also have a prosperity pack that we put together because it just seems like there's so many people dealing with financial stress, especially
Yes.
at this time.
Yes.
And we'll talk more about it later, but it's just something that's out there. This has got to do with the rejuvenation and detoxing, and when somebody's going through cancer, it's really hard to really identify with somebody that's going through that because we're just grateful we're not dealing with it, but we want to be there for someone else. And what it does is it puts the energy of the crystal, gives you the information of the crystal, gives you the affirmations with the crystal and the crystal itself, and it's all done in a way to help with healing. So that's something we just put out there.
It is so important to think good thoughts.
Mhm.
You know, think good thoughts, choose the good ones. You know, that's my motto.
We're gonna
choose good
zoom
thoughts.
in.
We're gonna zoom in on this product. Well, ladies, I am so happy that you're on the show, and I want you to come back and share more of your
Stuff.
more of your stuff.
We have lots of stuff.
We have lots of stuff. Yes, right
Okay,
on.
thanks.
Thank you for being here,
Thank
ladies.
you.
And
And you're doing a great job.
oh, I know. I'm just like, but I'm having fun.
all good.
I'm glad. And so our next guest, thank you, ladies. I gotta find my paper. Oh, Grace Divine. And let me find this paper. Where did it go? Grace Divine. And Layden Ketchuposh. Can I say that right? Ketchuposh? Ketchuposh. Ketchuposh. Hello, and Layden Ketchuposh. How do you say that? I know I was going to say it wrong.
Katapish.
She's going to be talking about the matrix
Energetics.
energetics. And Grace Divine is going to be talking about a little of everything. And you can start, Grace. How are you doing today, Grace?
I'm quite fine. And yourself?
I am just like having a good time here.
So far, so good, huh?
Yes.
All right. Okay, well, today's subject is about healing and healing modalities. So I wrote a little something to read first, and so I'll start there. How I heal. Power of touch means so much. The power of the spoken word when the spoken word is Om. The power of home, the power of love, the power from above. When push comes to shove, study, read, books, apply, do or die, fast and pray. Lemon juice and water, a little yoga every day. Go green, son and daughter, chemical-free and organic. Go green, make the scene. Spirulina, dry greens, grasses, dark green, leafy vegetables. Green. Okay, what I want to tell you about is I have a friend named Bonnie Hunt who's done gematria, which is the study of the Hebrew words which in the Hebrew, they are, the words are also numbers. And she has taken all the words from the Hebrew Bible and put them all into numbers and seen which numbers correspond to what. Okay, she came up with God created is also the word for chlorophyll. So one of the things we're going to heal with is chlorophyll. This is the end of a poem that I wrote earlier. Buy anything at all and you got to pay taxes, money, it never relaxes. If there's ever a penny left, you've got to give it to UNICEF. And or any one of the charities. Oh God, give us money, please. Spend it all to fight disease. We'll do the research, but never give an answer. What's up, people dying of cancer? Green. It's in the chlorophyll, people. It's in the giving up of the junk food and giving up of the bad foods and giving up of all the processed foods and the white foods and finding your way to the green energy. It's a green, organic thing on the outside. Get your houses green, get rid of the chemicals in your life, and put the greens inside.
Go green, drink green.
Go green for Christmas here. So let's see, what else?
Oh, I just love your little bit of everything there, girl.
A little bit of everything. Anyway, so God created, and God created the same gematria as chlorophyll. And then she took all the components of chlorophyll and all the numbers, and all these numbers add up to the other numbers of God created. So I think in our primal sense, where our bodies really come from the nature, is that we were picking the greens from the earth and eating things in spring, and we knew which leaves to eat off the trees.
Yes.
Salads. Eat those salads. Go for the dark greens and steam some up and eat those for dinner tonight.
I guess we were never meant to eat meat because we don't have teeth for meat, right?
That's what I say, yes. I do agree. Yes, so that's part of it also, and the yoga and the yoga lifestyle. And after New Year's, we're going to be starting a little center in Weed for yoga and for healing modalities, and have a little shop and have some massage going on and different healings, and people can come in and do classes and do workshops and do some yoga and learn about how to heal themselves. Heal yourself. That's the way.
It's wonderful. This area is so full of them, so full of workshops and just all kinds of things going on. You know, I went back to Indiana for a minute, and there was nothing back there. There wasn't even a drumming group. Nothing. It was the Bible thumping belt of the United States. I couldn't deal with it. I was like back here real fast. Well, thank you, Grace, for your a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And Layden, would you like to talk about your
Matrix energetics?
Yes, you can. You didn't have to make me say that.
Well, matrix energetics, it's the art of the science and art of transformation, and it's really just accessing quantum physical realities, basically looking at the body as just patterns of light and information. And if you want to change anything, change the patterns of light and information, the density, the quality of it in your reality that make up whatever you're experiencing. And it's very simple. There are seminars and teachings and whatnot, but people just read the books and are able to perform incredible healings and transformations. One of my favorite things to do is time travel, because everything is now. There is no past, there is no future. So I can play with someone, and it's also very playful. It's about joy, it's about laughter. And basically, actually, may I do a demonstration?
Sure.
Jennifer, may I? It's, let's see, make sure to stay
That's
hooked
what
up.
this is all about, showing people, teaching them.
So it's basically the 2-point technique. And what you would do is look at the person and place your 2 fingers anywhere that your attention is goes to. So with her, may I have you face that way so that if you flop, you'll be on the couch. And you collapse the wave, and that's when you know something has shifted. But you also make up your own rules. So one of my rules is that I don't have to observe a physical shift for it to mean that something changed. So let's see, 2 points. My first point is going to be here, and my second point is behind her back, her lower back.
Okay.
And from here, so that's the first step. You pick your 2 points, and then you drop down, which is you go into your heart, where anything and everything is possible. And from there, you let go, like a pebble throwing it in the pond, and then you just see what happens. So 2 points. And then the points don't even have to be on the body, so my finger just moved here for whatever reason, and I'm just going to play with that. Okay, my finger's here. Okay. And she's got all kinds of gold glitter going on here. It's like, woohoo!
And are you touching her back?
Yeah, my finger is still on
And
her
it's
lower
like
back.
on her lower back, just
Yeah.
the fingers? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hey, Jennifer, what are you feeling while she's doing that?
I'm definitely feeling like an energy surge and kind of some energetic stuff going on around me. It's calming. It's like chills.
So we're going to do time travel. How old are you, Jennifer?
36 tomorrow.
Happy birthday almost.
Thanks.
So let's see. For this, my fingers want to go right here and here. Let's see. So we'll start with 36. And as I count backwards, what will happen is if there's a shift for a year where she might have had something happen, we might see her body shift a little bit, or maybe move or spin or go backwards. Anything is possible. Okay, so let's see, 36, 34, 32. Oh, okay, so there's something for 32. She doesn't have to know what that is, but that just shifted. 30, 28, 26, 24. Okay, so shift for 24, 22, 20. Oh, okay. I felt that. 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, womb, conception, how do you feel?
I feel good.
So,
Right on.
Yeah, just play.
Yeah, so you just, okay, thank you for that
thank
demonstration.
you, Jennifer.
Wow. Wow, okay, so do you have a website?
I don't. I
Okay.
have my email if
You have
anybody
the
wants to
email?
ask me any
Okay.
questions. The website for Matrix Energetics is matrixenergetics.com, and there's a bunch of tools and resources there that can be accessed.
All right, and then there's a book about this too, huh?
There's 2 books. There's the first one is Matrix Energetics, where you basically can learn it, and it's super easy. And the second book that just came out, it's called The Physics of Miracles.
Oh.
Tapping into the power of consciousness, I believe, is the subline for it.
You know, there's just so much wonderful things out there. So many wonderful things. Well, thank you. Thank you
you.
for that demonstration. Thank you, ladies, and I would like you to come back.
Thank you.
We have to hear a little bit about everything from Grace. That's great.
All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Okay.
And my next guest is Andre Morgana and Aaron Hanks. Oh, I don't know. They have to hook up the microphone. Oh, we got a doggy here. Hello. Thank you. Come on, Aaron. I don't know where's another microphone right here. Andre, how are you doing today?
Great, Moonflower. It's wonderful to be here. Thanks for asking
No,
me.
thank you being on the show, the very first show. I know I emailed her this morning and went, what do I do? Well, I'm glad you're here, and you're going to be talking about the Best of Mount Shasta Conference, summer 2010.
I moved up here about a year and a half ago, and I had been coming up to Mount Shasta just about every year for about 20 years, and from time to time taking advantage of workshops that were being offered up here. And after I got up here and started to meet people in the community, I realized that everybody I was meeting had a story, and everybody was pulled up here. And whether the person was spiritual, quote, Christian, quote, atheist, whatever, most of them all said the mountain pulled them up here.
Yes.
And what I found just in this short period of time is that there's a tremendous amount of spiritual development that goes on right here with the people that live in this community.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, and it's just, you know, your show is so timely, you know, and it's so perfect to reflect what's happening here. But what I found was when I went to some of these other workshops, all of a sudden it sort of said to me in my mind, there's a disconnect here. These were workshops where people from outside the area were coming to hear people that had come from outside the area. And then I got to thinking, well, wait a minute, there's so much happening here in Mount Shasta. How is it that nobody's showcasing those people?
Yes.
So that's how this conference came about. It's called the Best of Mount Shasta. It's a conference for next summer, and Ginger has something to say about it too. And it's going to be at the Mount Shasta Resort. There's going to be 3 different weekends, one in June, one in July, and one in August. You need to calm down a little bit.
Maybe we need her to bark.
Okay.
So, and it will, for instance, several of the people you've had here today will be presenters. There'll be about, the intent is to have people come for the weekend, but for the workshop, for the conference, but to come for the whole week. And those people, they meet at the conference. Oh dear.
Sorry about that. We got this dog here that's just like.
I guess that was the wrong thing to do.
Oh well, that's our little spirit in here.
But anyway, long and short of it all is it will be an opportunity for people from outside the area to come to Mount Shasta and to meet people from the community, because it is a pretty remarkable community. That's what I found. And just about everybody you talk to has had very, very deep and profound experiences. And a lot of the spiritual development takes place right here, rather than just, you know, going to this workshop or that workshop and you learn all of those things. A lot of people are doing a lot of internalizing here, and I think it's time for the world to know. So there's going to be visionary artists, authors, dancers, musicians, healers, spiritual teachers, environmental innovators. Try to get the full gamut of it. And then there'll also be vendors, so people will have a chance to, there'll be a lot of ceremony. We're going to invite the Native Americans to come and do ceremony, because they're the first people here.
Oh yes.
And I just really, you know, honor what you're doing, because it's just, it's so
well,
much
it's needed. Everybody needs to come and share their experiences. I mean, everybody talks about it, but a show where people come in and really, you know, had a wonderful mystical experience on the mountain, come and tell about it. Let everybody know about it, you know.
Yeah.
But I want you to mention about the Shasta Healers get together. That's
yes.
Kind of
well, it's like all 3 of us are kind of, you know, reaching out and doing the same thing. You'll have to pardon me, but I call Moonflower the Sylvia Brown of Mount Shasta, because she's an individual where if you go and ask a question, you will get an answer about your life. And it's just a remarkable gift she has. I apologize for saying it like that, but I just really want people to know that not only are you putting on this show, but you really have a depth of spirituality about you. And then somewhere along the line, we all became friends with Aaron. And
I'm just everybody.
what did Aaron come up with?
So Aaron, you're on, babe.
Well, I guess the work I do a lot of work with nature. I spend a lot of time in nature, and I've kind of adapted myself to working with the elements in nature. And so taken that and developed some techniques with healing to where I can use the elements to channel healing energies and help people that way. And I do artwork as well with nature, and I make magical instruments and things like that, and use them, and there's a lot of power there, and I think that's a power that anyone could adapt to and learn. It's so close. We've kind of distanced ourselves a little bit from nature, obviously.
a lot.
I mean, you look at our concrete lives, and we've really pulled away from something that is so much a part of us. It is us. And I think with just a little bit of effort, a little tuning in, we can go back and reconnect to these elements. And I think a lot of the stress that we have in our lives and a lot of the fast moving that we have going on, that really is the core of most of the disease, if not all of it, can be eliminated if we tune into those natural energies. If we can feel the air, and if we can feel the water, and if, just
Go up on the
just
mountain
allow
and
ourselves
play once
to
in
be
a
what we
while.
are.
Go up on the mountain and
Kind of
play.
forgotten. Yeah, play.
Aaron and
like
I
we
go
do.
up on the
We
mountain.
play
We
on the
made it.
mountain all
We
the
were trying to make a snowman, ended up making a snow duck. It had wings, okay, it created itself. It's up on the mountain if we want to stay. It's still there. Are you going to read a poem?
Oh yeah, I'll read my poem. This is, it sounds like a political poem, but it's really not, but it kind of has a good catch that is political.
Now look at this, the younger generation. Where do they pull their poem
Oh, this
from?
phone is a brick.
So what's he got his poem on his phone?
Yeah, this is as high tech as I get. It's called Obama Been Hiding. Obama been hiding, can't you see? Let's wake up to this reality. If truth's the thing that sets us free, then what's the need for secrecy? He means well and he's doing his best, but honesty is the real test. Putting it all on the table to share so good understanding can be put there. God bless our good brother to shoulder no blame. In his shoes I might do exactly the same. It's scary, that winning and losing stuff game. It's scary, the risk of losing a name. It's our laziness that created this mess, believing security would be the best, trusting illusions, ignoring the signs, for the comfort of holding beliefs in our minds. I pray as people all soon know the truth. I wish us innocence like the youth. I pray we follow that wisdom now. I see new times through this gray cloud. What's real to me is water and earth. The madness seems of human birth, counting and keeping and hindering flow, measuring everything, having to know. Mother told me upon my sacred birth to care for her precious earth. Her rhythms beat slowly of carefuler ways. Let's slow down and listen and see through this craze. Her trust and allegiance is stronger to me than the temporal greed in society. She sustains me and she keeps me free from the thoughts of obsessive reality. Bless you, Mommy, and bless your kin and all the beings on your skin. Bless the people monkeys to learn how to win by working together so hurting can end. It need not be so hard to live, working all week just to survive. Sharing the burden is a nice vibe, working in harmony like a big tribe. There's enough of everything to go around, those things we took from the sacred ground. They were made to be shared and used carefully. Instead, they were hoarded and imposed poverty. Money's changed are of human design. With a little less greed, they can be divine. The blessings belong to all humankind. It's time to give back because we can't rewind. We thought we were separate in our minds. We thought we were merely body self-kinds. We picked a roll-up and we played. We got in our way. We disobeyed. We found our comfort, so we thought. We didn't quite realize what we'd bought. We caught in obsession, often we tried. We'd commit bits and pieces of soul suicide. We tried to be different than we naturally were. We tried to be righteous and avoid the obscure. We wanted to fit well that mold that we chose, to have nicer things and fancier clothes. A whoredom we did with a bit of ourselves, sold down the river that darkness that wells, that part of our wholeness that helps us all see that He is the same as both you and me. We know now it's different. It's time we transform. It's just what was required for some things to be born. The hatin' soon end in one way or t'other. Let's join hands in light now, all sisters and brothers. Let's welcome in light now. Let's open our hearts. Let's stop the resistance before more control starts. Let's embrace all the faiths now and welcome their keys. Let's put them together and open up, please. We all been hiding, refusing to see. The unknown is scary, quite naturally. Let's open the eyes up, just two or all three. Let's seek ancient wisdom and live carefully.
Aw, that was great.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Well, now we need to get Penelope up here. So thank you, too,
Thank
for
you.
coming on.
And I'll just quickly mention,
Yes.
if anybody in the community who sees the TV shows wants to get involved in the Best of Mount Shasta Conference, you can email me at thebestofmountshasta@gmail, and then the website is thebestofmountshasta.com.
Okay, thank you. And next is Jennifer Penelope. And she's bringing through a message from the higher dimensions to assist with the transformation of the earth. Journal of the Angels, message 1. The first message of many.
Of many
Oh.
messages. Yes. Yeah, so this is definitely from the higher dimensions, and it's coming through with great importance. And so I just want to share the words. The words are what's important, and sorry that I have to read them, but anyway, this is Journal of the Angels, message number 1. We speak to you today, happy that our word is conveyed to the inhabitants in the realm of the flesh. We speak many words, but what is of most importance is the message as a whole, which is a more complete understanding of the new world where it comes. Many of you do the work to bring it forth, to bring it in. You bring it in with your gratitude of heart, with your love for your brother, and with the listening of spirit. For we speak to many of you. The hearts of man do open, and you are beginning in more full part to gain remembrance of your true self. At this time, words hold great importance. Words hold energy and are creative, like thoughts. You are trained in Babylon to stifle your words and to hold your thoughts secret from your brother. This must be done to fit into Babylon. But I tell you, it is of importance to the transition of the planet into peace for you to speak the truth and withhold nothing. Do this until you are a clear vessel, opened to the flow of truth energy within. In truth, nothing must be upheld, because I am truth, and you are truth, and in us is the sounding note of peace. This is a simple message, really, one that you already know. You have been taught to cover up remembrance. The fear of man, the greed, the corruption of the society as a whole has covered up what is natural and raw within you. Truth is the simple thought, the restful thought. The thought of Babylon is fear, worry, and separateness. For you are part of a cycle of flow, bringing to you joy, miracles, and aliveness in all areas. Your burden is light. Let go of the false precepts that the world as a whole is grounded in. For Babylon has grasped the earth and enslaves the poor and turns the rich rancid. For it is based on war. You belong to a society based in war. War and murder in Washington, D.C. War. This makes the heavens weep, for you seek the kingdom of heaven, but step on your brother to steal it out of the hand of God. But I am offering it now with outstretched hands, and those that know heaven can receive of it. Those that monger and kill, they will not be able to find it. Long will be their search, and deep will be their longing. Those that judge, that do not extend a hand to a brother in need, that continue the workings of Babylon are as the warmongers in spirit. It is the same. For more need than have on earth today. It is spoken that they have need of you. And in this you shall join in heart, and my people shall join in heart. And a world of peace emerges into your vision and awareness. It takes not long. A day of a changed mind, of an open heart. For the gifts of heaven begin to become apparent to your vision already. Let us speak of the reality you yet wait to experience, the experience of heaven coming to vision and awareness on earth. It is not a difficult thing we ask, just a different thing we ask. We ask you to be different. Differ from your old ways. They do not serve the earth, nor do they serve you, nor do they serve millions of your family suffering. For in peace do all my children partake of rich abundance, never exhausting, always enough, always more than expected. A unity of man, a joy of soul, an extension of being one in me as you are in your brother, and I in all. Your way is lighted, for the remembrance of heaven shines on your physical senses and reveals many finer senses to you. It looks light, it feels like life. The life you are, the light you are. This is a time of transition. Many paradigms fall, many paradigms fail. Let them go. Do not struggle or fight this transition. It is a birth, the pain of birth experienced by the human race, but only for brief, to give way to new life, life lived full.
Thank you. Right now what I'm doing is I'm clearing him. He says he has some pain. I could feel this. A lot of people may not be able to feel this, but if people just start working and lifting your hands above, or you just start doing this with your hands and you start learning how to feel that energy, you'd be able to start working on people. Especially if they have a headache, you can always put your hands on their head. And if your intention is for them the headache to go away, it will go away, because your intention is with love. So how are you feeling here? Can you feel any of this?
Yeah, could you do me a favor? Could you work on this neck over here?
Yes, I can work on his neck. I do all my energy work for free. I do massage, but the energy work is all free. It's gifted to people. So thank you for joining me today and all my guests, and we'll see you next time on Mount Shasta Magic, hosted by Mayflower. How's that feeling? Is it feeling a lot better?
Pass it on with your actions, pass it on with your prayers, pass it on to each other with kindness and care. Your joys and your sorrows, they'll come and they're gone, but love lasts forever if you just pass it on.